I love this team. I love this video.
Say something cool.
Come back, boys.
400 NHL point.
I thought I'd take a moment and ride the wave of these last two regulation wins and talk about where the Montreal Canadiens have gotten to so far this season and what the outlook looks like. So let's talk about it.
But I got a specialty dessert that's real good. I can make it.
You gotta
nicer.
get her there first.
Call this a sanity check, a check-in, checking the pulse. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about the standings, about stats, about what to expect, the schedule, a bunch of stuff. Thought it could be a fun video, and I'm excited to read your comments. What's been going right for the Canadiens? What's been going wrong? Who's been performing above expectations? Who's been performing below? Before we get into the thick of the video, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe if you like the Montreal Canadiens and like hearing about the Montreal Canadiens and hockey and all that good stuff. We're really building a community here. We're almost at 20,000 subscribers, which is like, I don't even understand how we managed to get that many subscribers. We've just really taken off as a community. And I think what we've built here is a positive, analytical, and critical fan base of Montreal Canadiens fans and hockey fans in general. So yeah, hit that subscribe button, become part of the community. We'd love to have you. For those of you already subscribed, don't worry about it. Just hit that like button. Helps us out with, I don't know, something tracking, SEO, whatever that stands for. So I was hoping last night would be a win. Montreal has, historically done pretty well against the Utah Mammoth, and they pulled off a great regulation win. They had to make it a comeback. It was a fight the whole way through. It's very typical. But even though the Montreal Canadiens won last night, the Toronto Maple Leafs won, Tampa won, Florida didn't win. Florida's not doing too hot. Boston won. The Penguins won, which means there's wildcard implications there. Capitals won. Ottawa won. Yeah, a lot of Eastern teams won last night. So instead of potentially having slid into the second place in the Atlantic, Montreal still falls outside of a playoff spot, not even a wild card spot. Keep in mind, though, that Boston has 2 games on Montreal and they're only 1 point ahead. So Montreal could easily leapfrog Boston and Ottawa, in fact, if they won another game, and neither of those teams won their games. So it's tight. It's obviously very tight in the East. Even the Buffalo Sabres, who are at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, have 22 points. That's only 5 points behind Montreal and only 9 points behind the New Jersey Devils at the top of the conference. So it's gonna be a tight season. Might be a season where teams are reluctant to get rid of their players as well. So if you're a team looking for help, kind of like the Montreal Canadiens, it's going to be difficult, or it's going to come at a premium in order to find help. Montreal did get a little bit of help today, though, and recently. Alexandre Texier joined the team. He was on waivers for the purpose of terminating his contract, signed a very risk-free contract at $1 million AAV for 1 year. Toronto waived Sammy Blais. Sammy Blais is back on the team. He's been sent down to Laval, since Montreal was the only one to chime in on waivers. So that's a necessary thing. What with Line out, with Doc, with Newhook, they have options, and they can call up or they can send down their options as they see fit. Right now, Jared Davidson, Florian Xhekaj, and Adam Engstrom are up on the big team, but they're kind of floating around, being put on missions and not necessarily being relied on too heavily. As the injuries start to fall off, as they start to come back, yeah, expect these guys to either be sent back to Laval or sit some games. Speaking of injuries, I thought it might be smart to go over the timelines of the current injured players and when we should expect them back, starting with Kirby Dach, who we expect probably by the end of December. Haven't seen him out skating yet, so that makes me a little concerned about that timeline, but that's the best that we have to go on currently. Caden Gooley, we know, got pushed out an additional, I think, 3 months. So that brings us all the way until the end of March. Well, halfway through March 17th specifically. Could be a little bit less time, could be a little more time. They try to give the worst possible scenario so the athlete is able to come back early and the fan base says, hey, he's a champ, he came back early. That's how you know he missed the team, he really wants to come back, so on and so forth. Alex Newhook, he's supposed to be out until January. Time frame for that is around early January, hopefully. Out of all of them, honestly, I think that I want Newhook back the most. He was really on a campaign. He looked like he was going to have his best season of his career. So I'm really hoping he's able to salvage that. And then finally, Patrick Laine expected to be out to at least February 28th. Obviously, these injuries create significant uncertainty for the Canadiens, especially as they navigate through a difficult stretch in this season. November and December, I believe, are the most difficult months. So yeah, this is, it's not ideal. Relying on these young players to fill in the gaps, it's putting pressure on everyone. It's putting pressure on management. So this is the segment of the video where I thought it would be neat to use this scene to record. And let's look at the club stats here. No surprises, Nick Suzuki is in first in terms of points with 26 points, leading the team. Leading by example, like a good captain should. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. 4 penalty minutes, 4 power play goals, no shorties, no game winners, 46 shots, 15.2% shot percentage. I think that's really good for Suzuki. Averages about 20 minutes a night, and he's winning the draw about 51.8% of the time. Yeah, do we have to talk about Nick Suzuki? He is extremely important to the team. Nick Suzuki gets injured, the Montreal Canadiens are suddenly drafting Gavin McKenna. I'm not exaggerating. It's a linchpin. I've kind of held my tongue on this and I've hesitated to say anything like this, but this is still a rebuilding team. If you have this many first year and second year rookies on your team, you're still rebuilding, man. That is a team that doesn't just make it into the playoffs. It is a struggle. It's a fight. They started the season off way better than I expected. I thought there was going to be an uncomfortable period of time where they would have to figure out some chemistry. So it's given me hope, but I just feel insane when, so many of the analysts said Montreal is definitely a shoo-in for the playoffs this season. They've only gotten better, yada, yada, yada. Have you seen how competitive these divisions are? It drives me a little crazy, but that's my opinion. If you disagree with me, you know what? There's a lot of people that do. And yeah, maybe I have the bad opinion on this one. Maybe I don't. I don't know. I feel pretty strongly about it. I'm going to be honest. Caufield, 13 goals, 10 assists, 23 points, plus 10 on the season. He's gotten double the amount of penalties that Nick has. Is that because he serves like the bench penalties? 1 power play goal, 3 game winners, 1 overtime goal. Is that just overtime goal? Yeah. 62 shots. He's shooting more than his teammates. I wish he would shoot even more. His shot percentage has dropped from whatever ridiculous percentage it was originally, 30-something percent. It's down at 21. Even that is not a manageable shot percentage. He averages about 18 and a half minutes a night. He must have taken a couple of face-offs because he has a 40%. Yeah, Cole Caufield on pace for 50, I don't know, 50, I don't want to look stupid here, 52, 53 goals. Not bad. You can't complain there. Things are looking good there. Lane Hutson got a lot of criticism. People thought that he was going to experience the sophomore slump. He's on pace for 70 goals. 70 goals, yeah, 70 goals. 70 points. He's doing just fine. Although, look at this plus minus. Does that have a little bit of a story behind it? Yes. So the slump that he experienced was he got caught with his pants down quite a bit so far this season. And hopefully he is keeping that in mind going forward. He's always going to try his best out there. It's just he gets over ambitious, he overcommits, and sometimes he loses the puck at the blue line, and it looks super ugly. But yeah, it happens. We're seeing it happen to Schaefer. We're seeing it. Well, we've seen it happen to Matheson quite a bit. But you want to minimize those overcommitments. When it happens on the power play, that's one thing. But when it happens on 5-on-5, yeah, it's another one. 36 shots. He's shooting more, isn't he? Oh man, is he ever shooting more? He's going to put like an extra 40 shots on net. That's interesting. That's something that I didn't dig up. In fourth place for points, Ivan Demidov. He easily crept his way up there, didn't he? He's making the Calder race interesting now. Let's take a look at that, actually, while we're talking about Demidov. Ivan Demidov is first overall for points and rookies. He's tied for fifth in terms of goals, and he's first overall for assists. Might as well mention it now, but Oliver Kapanen is tied for first for goals, along with Matthew Schaefer and Beckett Seneke. This is going to change. I said earlier today on my Twitter feed, I guess this is a shameless plug to follow me on Twitter, even though it's a cesspool over there. Ivan Demidov is outpacing my expectations for how many points that he'd get this season. He's outpacing it by like not a very significant amount, about 0.07%, but factor in that it's still early in the season and I thought he was going to warm up. So by the end of the season, that 0.7% is going to be, it could significantly be bigger. Even 1% or 2%, that would change, by several points. I should have been doing this all along, but Lane Hutson is Lane Hutson is 10th overall for defensemen in points and tied for 7th overall for defensemen in terms of assists. Looking at our skaters, Cole Caufield is no longer on the board of top 10 skaters for goals, but he's just outside. And then Nick is tied for 8th in terms of assists. Look at Cale Makar up there for points. That's all skaters. He is outpacing so many forwards in terms of points. It's just, Colorado is such a wagon right now, man. In the goalie category, well, we don't have to worry about that one. So back to our players list. Noah Dobson, right behind Ivan Demidov. 3 goals, 13 assists, 16 points. Dobson is a +2. He has been an incredible addition to the team. Defensively reliable, but also very hard on the puck offensively. Players are scared of him standing at the blue line of their offensive zone. He can make you look silly, or he can put on a heavy shot. I can't, I get a little bit giddy thinking about how good Noah Dobson is, and I can't believe we acquired him for the amount that we acquired him for, although initially there was a little bit of sticker shock just because you were so used to the average prices and how long they'd been around. It kind of stagnated. Now we're seeing the league growing, expanding, and the salary cap getting bigger. That was a great deal for us. 10 PIMs, 1 game-winning goal, 38 shots compared to Hutson's 36. He likes to shoot. He and Hutson are getting good shot percentages for a defenseman. And look at the times. 22 minutes and 49 seconds, 22 minutes and 39 seconds. You love it. You gotta love it. Let's talk a little bit about Matheson, go through his stats, and then after that, I'll give general thoughts about each individual, but I won't dive too far into their stats. So 4 goals, 10 assists, 14 points. Matheson is a +13. Keep in mind, he plays on the PK. He puts in big minutes every game. He's got help now. He's putting around 25 minutes a night still, but he's not as pressured as he used to be. He's got help now, and I mean, he's looked great. Come on. Oh my gosh, I just noticed this. 15.4% shot percentage. That's disgusting. So when he's taking shots now, he's doing it because he's feeling it. No more off the shin pad Mike. Wow, that's incredible. That's another cool stat that I just learned doing this exercise. All right, who else do we got here? Oliver Kapanen. He's blown expectations away. Far exceeded expectations. 5 goals, 12 assists, +2 sound defensively. He's playing some PK time. He's just been huge to the team, like a huge asset. And he's come out of essentially nowhere. It's his rookie year, right? It's a shame because he does get overshadowed a little bit by Ivan Demidov, but I find that he's a more versatile player in terms of his defensive abilities and just how much more they can rely on him. Obviously, Ivan Demidov has things that you can't teach, you have to know. So yeah, he's obviously the more valuable player, but yeah, Oliver Kapanen, another player that I just can't say enough good stuff about. And Martin St. Louis gushes about him. He talks about how he's not afraid to send that line out because of Kapanen. He's got a great shot percentage as well. He only shoots when he knows that he's in the kill zone. 12 minutes a night. That might speak a little bit to Martin St. Louis' job not being done as good as it could be. A 50.7% face-off rating. That ain't not too bad. Alex Newhook, 6, and 12. What a balanced season he was starting off on. +7. Another player that demonstrated his ability to be a great two-way forward. Geez, some shots that really mirror Kapanen's, huh? He was playing PK time there and doing pretty darn good too. His face-off percentage left something to be desired, and that's why I suspect he didn't meet at the dot as often. Although you'll notice him gravitating towards center duties often when they played together on a line. Let me try that again. When they played together on a line. Uri Slavkovsky. This is a tale of two Slavs. We didn't want this to happen, and it looked like it was going to be full season Slav, but the black and white stats are not telling the full story here. He's had a couple of goals that weren't attributed to him. I said this online and I got mocked for it, but up until the 60s or something like that, they would count third assists. I think that if you went in, and there are tools that you can track this stat, if you went in and look at third assists, this number would change more dramatically than I think anybody else on the team. The thing is, and this is how I have to explain it to the dullards that don't know puck, you dump the puck in. Who retrieves the puck on the first line? Uri Slavkovsky. What happens from there? Does he win a battle with one of his opponents? Maybe two of his opponents sometimes. He's doing the hard work. The puck leaks out to one of his teammates. Teammate works the puck behind the net, along the boards, to someone else. Puck goes in. That's not a Slav assist. But who did the most work? Uri Slavkovsky. I don't know what's so hard to explain about that. And he has been doing the work. And now that he has been sequestered on that second line, given some rope, the hope is that what he's going to do is drive that line a little bit more. What might happen is that the pure playmaking abilities of Ivan Demidov could incorporate Uri Slavkovsky into the production. Maybe you'll start seeing points for Slavkovsky more often. Next, Zach Bolduc. So I was starting to doubt him after last game where he had 2 or 3 points. 2, 3. The doubt is leaving my body a little bit. You see the -3 here. That is indicative of the time he spent down a little bit when they didn't really know how he would factor in for a role. And I think what they've spotted from him is that he's a gopher, where Nick likes to set up the play and Caufield likes to get fed in sneaky spots. Bolduc can be all over the ice and hopefully picking up pucks and sustaining zone time. So I do like that. And he's got a wicked shot. His shot percentage is at 15.6%. If he keeps it at that, that's incredible. Holy smokes, I just noticed he's got a 56.3% face-off percentage. Another crazy stat that I just noticed. But what is that, like 5, 6 face-offs or something like that? Brendan Gallagher, 9 assists. That's good. 1 goal. I worry about Gallagher. I worry about how he continues to implement into the team. Holy smokes, 2.9% shot percentage. He's losing time on the sheet, man. 100% face off. Put him in the dot more often. He's starting to show his age a little bit on this team that is young and very fast. You don't want Gallagher out there for too long, but he fights. And if he can get in front of the net and be a pest, he's valuable up there. I just don't think that his line mates compliment him that well. So yeah, like I said, I worry about Gallagher. He can't reinvent himself at this point, but I think he needs to rely on his high compete level to take pucks away, be a good defender. And, we still have him for 1 year after this one. He'll be 35 years old. Josh Anderson, not the best season for Josh Anderson. I'm going to be pretty blunt here. 5-3 and 8 points on the season, a -8. And I think some of this, a significant amount, it comes from 5-on-5 stuff. They've lost their identity a little bit. You might have heard me talking about Yoel Armia more lately. When it was Armia, Anderson, and Evans, they all did the same thing, and they all did the same thing well. They defended, they shut down their opponents. And I think that relied a lot on all three of them being able to do it. Now, when they were playing with Gallagher, it wasn't good chemistry. But since Florian Xhekaj has been implemented, it could work. It could work. So let's hope they grow that and could find a win there. Kirby Dach, our poor Kirby Dach, injured again as a Band-Aid boy, but he was showing flashes. And you root for him, right? But even if you're doing really well and you're an individual that shows year after year after year after year, you're going to be injured at least for a somewhat significant amount of time, you're a liability. And the Montreal Canadiens are wanting to progress to a point where they don't want any liabilities on the team. And more so than that, they want to improve to a point where if a person is having a bad game, they're still useful to the team. So again, I worry about Kirby Dach's future with the team. I don't know what they're going to do with him. It is a contract year for him and Patrick Laine. Jake Evans, another individual who is not having the best season ever. And again, it's the same stuff that I talked about with Anderson. He is the short-handed king, but he's only gotten one this season. Come on, man. You need more. You can't ever expect short-handed goals. But it was always awesome when Evans would net one. Evans has 25 shots. Anderson has 24. That's not bad, honestly, for the amount of ice time they get 5-on-5. They both put in about 15 minutes a night. Geez, Evans has a 20.8% shot percentage. They're too careful with their shots, man. I'd love to see them put 30 plus a night every single night. Oh man, look at Anderson's face-off percentage. He doesn't take very many face-offs, but wow, he's doing all right when he hits the dot. And Evans, 54.1. He takes a lot of face-offs, so that's great for Evans. How is Dvorak doing for face-offs down in Philly? 56.1. Gosh, what a great face-off guy. 15 points? You gotta be kidding me. That's like Matheson and Dobson numbers. Bonkers. All right, here's the guy that I really wanted to talk about, Alexandre Carrier. The mob is going wild with this guy right now. He's a -9, 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points. You're not really hoping for a whole lot of points for him, but you're hoping for very sound defensive reliability. And yeah, he has not been having a great season, but there's no need for saying that Carrier should be sitting instead of Xhekaj. Carrier should be sitting instead of Struble. He's getting caught with his pants around his ankles a lot. He's been looking unlucky. I do not think that is indicative of his ability. I think that it is a lot of unfavorable plays. However, the things that bug me are when he is soft on his opponent. And there's been times. So I'm keeping my eye on Carrier, but I have not at all given up hope like some of the individuals online. And if you think that way as well, let me know in the chat what you're seeing that I'm not. Like, is it those battles that he's losing that bug you too? Because it's not all the time, and it's often when it's frustrating situations when they're sewed into their zone and he's not getting a lot of help otherwise. So he's stuck, in the corners behind the net. He's trying to dish it out to his teammates, and his teammates are like, hey, we got to transition into the neutral zone. I'm going to be waiting at the line. Like, can you get it all the way to me? Like, what's good? Like, it bugs me. Struble, I think that he performs well with Hutson, but they've both been seeing kind of some drawbacks in terms of Hudson's overcommitment to getting deep into the zone when they're attacking. Still, I like Struble's play, and I think you'll see him fluctuate if he continues to work with Hutson. Goalie, unfortunately, another Band-Aid boy, an individual who we thought would be a premier, reliable defenseman. There's still hope that these injuries are just flukes and they're not going to be a constant thing. I just hope he's not getting too comfortable because we need him. Like I said, you can be the most reliable player when you're on the ice, but when you're not on the ice, you're not useful to the team at all. But we know what he brings. He's hard on the puck in the defensive zone, and he's no slouch when you get into the offensive zone either. He's another defenseman that I think is feared at the blue line, but he doesn't necessarily have the puck handling skills as much as Dobson. Joe Veleno, I don't really want to talk about Joe Veleno. I think he forechecks really hard, but he loses battles. I think because his strategy is poor. He doesn't put himself between his opponent and the puck enough, and he's not good enough with his stick. And then in the defensive zone, he makes a lot of mistakes or he's too soft. And it might be, again, his strategy about getting between his opponent and the puck. It really frustrated me last game when he lost the battle with his opponent. He couldn't get between him and the puck, and he just kind of like didn't tie up the stick or anything, and they scored right in his face. Florian, I see big things in Florian. That +1 might not look like a lot, but he is playing with Anderson and Evans, who are put out for hard tasks. And if you remember what I said about Evans and Anderson, they were missing that Armia piece. And because of that, they were losing ±, on 5-on-5. Goals were going in when that line was out. So there's a seed there. Let's see if it can grow. Patrick Laine, I don't want to comment too much. I think that he is a power play specialist. I don't think he's versatile. I don't think that he's a good defender. And I think in order for him to work 5-on-5, he needs talented teammates. And I think that Montreal might have grown past that. So use that information how you will. I'm still rooting for him, and I really like the guy. Alexandre Texier, here's my opinion about him. I haven't given this yet. He's a skill guy that I think skates well enough, but not nearly hard enough on the pucks, not versatile enough. And I think that all the tools in his toolbox makes him an AHL player. That is just what I absorbed from watching a lot of Texier clips and a lot of like junior stuff that I don't know how much that translates honestly. So I could be very wrong about him. Arbor Xhekaj, a -4. What else? What other information that can we suss from this? 40 penalty minutes. He's taking penalties because he's having to enforce for his team, but also he's taking penalties here and there as well. I think that Xhekaj looks good this season. Like he's not kind of a miserable mess like he was last season where he just didn't have an identity at all, and he kind of rebuilt himself, but he rebuilt himself as a completely vanilla defenseman who lost a lot of battles, didn't know how to get the puck, didn't know how to move the puck in transition, so on and so forth. He's looking better this season, but he's getting weighed down a lot by Alexandre Carrier not performing like he did last season. Adam Engstrom, haven't seen him very much at the NHL level. I don't have a huge opinion about him yet that I've formed. Got to see more of him. Owen Beck. I like Owen Beck a lot. He's got his opportunities. I think he needs more time in the oven. Joshua Roy. I think he needs a change of scenery. He has proven that he can perform in the NHL. He just needs a spark to play off of. He can't be playing with Gallagher and whoever else. He needs somebody like Sean Monahan when he saw some success. So I would like to see Joshua Roy moved. I don't know who takes a chance on him. He wouldn't be considered a premier prospect, but he's a prospect that has demonstrated that he can play in the NHL. Still pretty young. He would have to be part of some sort of a package deal if Montreal is getting something significant back that makes sense as far as I can see. So I'm not sure. And then even then, his fight to find a roster spot is going to be still hard. Jared Davidson, really liked what I've seen from him. However, last couple of games, a little bit more lackluster. So again, I think some more time in the oven. Et finalement, nos gardiens. Our two goalies, Jakub Dobeš, Samuel Montembeault. both have played 12 games. Jakub Dobeš is, in my eyes, the starter at this point. 8 wins, double the wins of Montembeault, 2 losses, whereas Montembeault soaks up 5. Dobeš has 2 losses in OT, while Montembeault has 1. Goals against average. So Dobeš lets in less than 3 goals. That's good. But I really wish he was hanging around a lot closer to that 2-goal mark. And Montembeault leaves in about almost 4 goals a night. Dobeš's save percentage is scraping at that 900. Samuel Montembeault is an abysmal 852. And you can't really find anything to make excuses for Montembeault. Dobeš has faced more shots. So my theory about the team playing better in front of Dobeš, not true. He's made more saves in 12 games and he's let less goals in, obviously. So until Montembeault can pull himself out of the muck, I think that Dobeš should see more games. And we know now that he is going to be playing against the Colorado Avalanche, while Samuel Montembeault gets what a lot of people consider the easier game against the Vegas Golden Knights. I get the strategy. The strategy is put the struggling goaltender up against the weaker team and put your stronger goaltender up against the stronger team. But Colorado, man, 10 wins in a row, 3 back-to-back shutouts. Montreal does play good against Colorado. They have a pretty good record against them recently. And you hate to be the defeatist person to say, hey, let's put Samuel Montembeault against the Avalanche to see if he could dig deep. But if he gets completely lit up, then at least we protect Dobeš. So yeah, now that I've thought about it, it's the only way to go, sadly. There's individuals saying online, just put Dobeš up against the team where you think they have a chance. And with the Colorado game, just accept the loss. Maybe just skip the game completely. And that's a loser mentality, isn't it? So what did we go over? We went over the standings. We went over player stats. We went over the upcoming games. Holy smokes, I've been talking for 54 minutes. I hope I can edit this down to something digestible. Otherwise, you guys are going to get like a full-fledged podcast here. I think I'm going to call it right there, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this talk. I hope that, I planted some reasonable takes into your mind. Otherwise, let me know what you think in the comments. But this was fun, just talking Habs hockey. I was going to do a live stream. Actually, I probably should have, but we will do one. I'm not sure if we'll do one this weekend. If we do, it's going to be on Sunday. So I hope you guys are doing all right. Take care of yourselves. You guys know what to do. Like the video. It helps me out with search results or something like that. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I'd love to have you. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.